Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So we're in part two. This is part two of the top 3 things that singles do. Top 3 worst. So take 2. Top 3 worst things that singles do to themselves. This is part 2. Okay, so once again, for those of you who do not know and did not look at part 1, I highly encourage you to look at part 1. I'm not saying you have to necessarily stop this video to look at part 1, but make sure you take the time to look at part 1 as soon as you watch this video. That's going to bless you. You need that in your life. So number 2 worst thing that a single could do to themselves is have a lack of self-care. And I could speak on this because of personal experience, that I had a really hard time with this for a number of years. Trying to think how many years it was. I want to say probably starting in 2013 all the way up until last year. Last year it was like a light bulb, legit, like it literally, I remember I had some things take place last year that really did enlighten me and was like, Kim, you have to start taking better care of yourself, because you don't, no one else is going to take care of you, because you're going to be looking stupid, which I was. You're going to be looking stupid when you are all used up and you have nothing else to give to anyone, and you have nothing to give to yourself, and you're going to be looking real stupid, dumb, and embarrassed. And that is something that has happened to me multiple times. But last year I took the initiative that this is not going to happen to me again, and I'm going to focus more on my self-care. And then I remember in November, this is another instance, I remember I woke up, it was like towards the end, it was like the end of November. It was like right before I was moving to the place that I am now. And I remember I woke up, I think it was like that Friday morning. Was it Friday or was it December 1st? Was it December 1st? It was one of those days. It was either like the end of November or like December 1st. But I remember waking up and it was like, I felt like blinders were taken off my eyes. It was like, I've never experienced that in my life. And the Lord allowed me to start seeing things that was like always there, that was always taking place, and I was seeing it for what it really was, and I was seeing the truth of some things, and I was like, this is serious. Like, this is serious. And I thought it was like some 30 things, since I was close to 30, but I don't know. But since then, I always knew that I thought differently than a lot of people. Some people say that my mind moves really fast, which it does, I guess. But I do catch up on more stuff than I really choose not. Like, if I had it my way, I wouldn't allow myself to see certain things. But I guess I'm a observer, and there are some things that I discern more than some others. And then I catch on quickly about, not saying that I do something about it as soon as possible, like I should, but that is a gifting that I do have, and it really was an enlightening experience. But with that being said, I was like, yes, Kim, like, you were on the right road on getting yourself, because that season last fall, I really went in like aggressive mode. Like, I went in aggressive mode to start taking care of myself. Like I said, I make preparations to move out independently on my own. That's something that I really need to do. And even with that, I didn't even notice, like, but I feel so much more stress-free just living by myself. Like, that, I'm not saying, like, all the roommates I've had in the past were great people, great roommates. I've always had really good roommates, but what people don't understand, depending on who you are, and I've always had a roommate all my life, like live with my family. Then after living with my family, I ended up going to college. Even though there was a couple years of my undergrad that I had my own dorm room, but I still had to share showers and the bathrooms with other females. So I didn't really technically live by myself, you know. So so I noticed like a significant change with my stress level, because when you're living with other people, and I could see why some families are stressed out, because you literally have like this burden on your shoulder, and you just want to make sure everything's taken care of in that household, not just for yourself, but you're looking at other people. And when you get that opportunity, when you could just focus on yourself, it's like it just feels so good. And it's just something that you have to all experience for you to really fully 100% get what I'm saying. But anyways, with that being said, I had to learn my lesson the hard way with self-care. I had a really hard time with saying no, and that's part of self-care, which some people don't really realize. But I'm still learning this. I'm not saying that I'm 100% in these areas that I'm talking to you about, but these are things that I had to learn on my own, on this journey called life. And I just want to share my story with you all and share some advice and tips that, you know, that could have helped me, and I know it could help someone else that's in a similar situation, or you may find yourself in the season in months or years to come. So please take note. Please be observant. So please don't take this information in vain. But anyways, I used to have a hard time saying no, and I'm still learning this. But it used to be really, really bad, to the point like I would lose sleep. Like I would not get adequate enough sleep because I wouldn't tell people no. And it's like, that's not living. That's not living, people. It's not living. And I'm learning the hard way that if I don't take care of myself, there's no way I could take care of someone else. And with the current job I have, I'm a case manager, and I have about 13, 14 clients or something like that. And I'm always out in the community, so I have clients on top of my colleagues that I work with, on top of community partners that I work with. So if I'm not well, if I'm not mentally well, if I'm not spiritually well, not physically well, if I'm not mentally well, I am going to be no good to people. I could probably put on a good mask for a season if I'm imbalanced in these areas, but I will be exposed at one point in time. And it's crazy because I've been noticing it, you know, just working or whatever, and I just noticed it, like, just being out in the community. It's like, wow, like, we all really need to do a better job as singles to take care of ourselves. Because if we don't take care of ourselves, we would be run down in the pits, and we'll have nothing to give for no one and nothing to give for ourselves. And I don't think the Lord has never intended for us to live that way. I'm not a debater, but that is something I could debate about. But I'm not debating. What I say is not debatable. I don't debate. Of course, what I'm saying is not absolute. But I'm just saying, you got to make sure you take care of yourself. I know I'm making this video, but I'm going to get some sleep. Like, for example, about self-care. Just giving you some examples with self-care. I'm noticing being a single as of right now, I'm noticing a lot of things that I considered normal growing up as a child, even in my college years, that I thought was normal, or we say it was like a family tradition or tradition of the American way. I'm noticing I'm living very differently from that. I am learning to do things that works best for me, instead of being caught up on and being stressed out, or getting my hands tied to something that I really don't need to do. Like, so for example, 2 years ago, well, 2 Christmases ago, so it was December, excuse me, a little parched. So, December 2016, I believe it was, yes, I spent Christmas by myself. I spent Christmas by myself. And what is that? Sorry guys, I think that was an N or something. But anyways, what I was saying, I spent Christmas 2016 by myself. And I know this is probably like a very sensitive subject for many people, and I know a lot of stuff I'm saying is very sensitive, and it's on purpose. It's intentional, because if I'm not going to tell you, I don't know who else is going to tell you. I don't know. But anyways, or maybe this is confirmation. You've been hearing this before, and you just need to listen. But anyways, I spent that Christmas day by myself, and to be honest with you, that was probably the best, or one of the top best Christmas days I've ever had in all of that 28 years. That was 28 that year, I guess. And it was just like, it was so refreshing, because that day, it was a Sunday, I remember, and my local church, we didn't have service, so services were canceled that day. We had a Christmas Eve service that night. So I remember talking to friends and family on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas morning. I remember I was talking to friends. I was on Periscope. I was watching, I remember watching so many messages that day. I remember watching messages on Periscope. I watched messages from Toronto. I watched messages from Tampa, Florida, Tallahassee, Florida. Who else? There were probably another message I listened to in my room, in my living room, in my kitchen. I don't remember what I ate that day. I ate something, I guess. But it was just, that day was just so refreshing, and I was just able to rest. I was able to rest because my job gave us a few days off that week. And I remember that Christmas day, it was like no other. I didn't have to worry about giving the best gifts to people. I didn't have to worry about wearing the best outfit so I could outshine my other family members or friends. I didn't have to worry about wearing the best shoes. I didn't have to worry about having a nice hairdo. I didn't have to worry about all that just drama and crap that people normally deal with every year during the Christmas season. And I didn't have to worry about my feelings getting hurt for not getting what I wanted for Christmas. It was just so free. I had so much freedom that day just within myself, just knowing that Kim could be who she wanted to be, and she could be content and satisfied. I was just so happy that day. And still to this day, it was a great Christmas. It was a great Christmas. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed spending Christmas with my family and friends when that time come. This Christmas, I spent it with my aunt and uncles, and I loved it. But that particular year, that's what I needed, because I was so stressed out with work, and it was just so much stuff going on, and I was making a transition. It was right before I started my supervision hours for LPC, so I just really needed that season to be by myself, and I am so thankful for it. And today, for example, today's July 4th. For you all may not even listen to this until about the 5th or 6th, but for example, today I spent July 4th, 2018 by myself. And to be honest with you, this was probably one of the best 4th of Julys I had. So, and I know it may sound like wait, do Kim really like people? Yes, I love people. I'm a true extrovert. Like, I love being around people. I love being around my family. I love being around my friends. I just love it. I do love you all. Believe me, I really do love you all. I really do. But there's a time and season for all things. And so, too much of a good thing can be bad at times. And so if I'm always around people all the time, and I'm always giving myself to people, if I'm always trying to please people or whatever, and I'm not doing nothing for myself, like, am I really living? No. And so, like, today, oh my goodness, it was just a great self-care day. Like, I slept in till about 10 o'clock a.m. and I did nothing for hours. And I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed of that. Like, I ate lunch and had some ice cream and cleaned myself up, and it was just great, being in the AC, being in my place, watching YouTube. I went on a YouTube binge today. It was just a beautiful day by myself, and I absolutely love it. And so with this self-care, why I consider this the lack of self-care, why I consider this as one of the top worst things singles could do for themselves, is because if you don't love yourself, please listen to me very carefully. If you do not love yourself, if you do not take care of yourself, do not expect no one to love you and take care of you. And say if you do meet someone that do love and care for you, but you don't do that for yourself, that void or whatever is never going to be fulfilled through someone else. Like, believe me, you're going to have issues. Either that's a family member or a friend or a boyfriend, girlfriend, or a spouse. Like, you got to make sure you take care of your singleness on your own. And it's been I've heard messages on this and whatever, but I've always known this, and I've been talking about this for a very long time. So some of my friends, you could vouch for this, because I'm not taking this from no one. This is, like I said, it's from personal experience. What I have personal experience and what I see all the time. And I'm still working on it. Like, in November, like I said before in another video, like, I went on a boot shopping spree because, like, I had no boots, and it was like November. Like, why don't you have any boots for the wintertime, Kim? So, like, this weekend, I'm planning on doing some shopping for myself because I'm noticing, like, I have a lack of summer clothes, and we're already in July. So, make sure, singles, you're going to work out, taking care of your physical body. Like, even though I'm just getting back on track, I just got back on track March of this year. So that's April, May, June, almost 4 months in after 2 years of not going to the gym. Ridiculous. I have no excuse for that. Singles, we have no excuse to be out of shape. Like, we have no excuse to not take care of ourselves. Like, we have no one else to care for. Like, we don't have a spouse. We don't have children. I know some people do have children. So, I know there's limitations on that, but I know people that still do it. So make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're getting the sleep that you need. I know some of you worry about me, wondering if I get sleep or what I do. And believe me, Kim is good. God is taking good care of me. He's taking real good care of me because I have learned my lesson the hard way. And so I just want to encourage you all to take care of yourself. I'm praying, I'm hoping I have enough money to get a massage. I really need a massage. I have not got a massage since, like, last fall. So I really need a massage, like, really bad. So, yeah, like, with my hair, like, I know it's like, it just was taking me too long to do my own hair. My hair is, like, really long and really thick. And I just noticed it was taking me way too long to do my hair, and it won't last very long. So I was like, look, I got to do something with my hair. So I took the time out, I took the money out, and I, had to think about myself for 2 seconds. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad when you have to take a day or two for yourself. Don't feel bad when you have to take like $100 put aside for yourself. Like, don't feel bad about that. Like, you have to take care of yourself. And you know, it's interesting because as a single, I'm learning as I take care of myself. The more I'm learning to care for myself, to love myself, to be aware of the needs that I have. You know, of course there are wants and desires that I have, but you know, we're human. Like, we don't deserve everything that we want, of course, but there are needs. There are basic needs that we do have that we need to take care of. So we need to, my hair is getting jacked up right now. So, do not feel bad about that. And don't make no one make you feel bad about that. Because they're not living the life that you live. Like, that's another thing too. I'm sorry, I'm going on a little rant, but I'm getting tired of people worrying about the life that I live. Like, I'm not being harmful to myself or being harmful to other people. Like, I am doing all right. Like, you live your life as I live my life to the best of our abilities, and let's keep it moving. If you see that I need help, help me. So anyway, so also another thing with self-care, like I'm thinking about taking a cruise in November for Thanksgiving, and you know, Thanksgiving, like I'm not bound to a family tradition that I have to be somewhere every year at the same time of Thanksgiving. Like I have the right to change that up every once in a while. Like, I have a right to be where I want to be for Thanksgiving. So if I want to take a cruise for Thanksgiving, I'm going to take a cruise for Thanksgiving. So y'all pray for me and one of my friends. We're thinking about taking a cruise in November for Thanksgiving. Y'all want to come with us, let me know. But that's the plan. That's the plan, y'all. So 21 minutes in, I said a lot about self-care, and I will continue to preach to you all about self-care as I work on self-care as well. Very long videos, but I think it's worth the while for you all to listen. So this is part 2, and this is number 2 reason on worst things that singles do to themselves. And this was lack of self-care. So you guys, ladies and gentlemen out there, if you enjoy this content, feel free to subscribe, and then also share, comment, and like. So thanks again for tuning in and watching and listening. So stay tuned for part 3.